welcome back and to concentration and dilution exploration. In this video we're going to explore part 3 where we're focusing on how to change the concentrations either by dilution or evaporation. This is the data table. I just want to point out to you the data table. You'll notice that there are initial and concentration and initial volumes with N1 and B1, final concentration and final volume, and on the side the analysis which says actual volume. So the purpose of this is you'll also know that some of the boxes are grayed in. When we're doing these experiments, we can't exactly reach a certain volume unless it's 1 liter. 1 liter is the only one we're guaranteed because the container doesn't go above 1 liter. But if we're aiming for something like a half a liter, this is not exactly a half, and there's no reading here to tell us what the exact volume is. So what we're going to do is we're going to record data for our initial concentration, we're going to aim for an initial volume, like in the first case is 0.5, and then record data for our final concentration and final volume after some sort of change, and then use the M1, B1 equals M2, B2 to get the actual initial volume in this case, and then for trial 2, the actual final volume. You only have to do that for the first and second, and this gives you an opportunity to practice M1, B1. Alright, so go ahead and get started. So for the first trial, we need to drain the tank, and we're going to fill the tank with to about half, 0.5 liters. So again, that's an approximate, calculate the actual amount later. With the cobalt nitrate concentrated solution. So I'm draining the tank of all the water. All you want here is the cobalt nitrate. Switch into the dropper. Make sure it says cobalt nitrate, and then add it to the top. And I will not forget one. Okay, so my initial concentration is 5.00 per liter, and my approximate volume is 0.5 liters. So that's what's going to go here. So 5.000 is 0.0 molar. So that's for the probe. And then again, approximately 0.5. I'll calculate the actual number later. Alright, now it says to add enough water until the volume of the tank is 1 liter. So I'm just going to add water to that. I notice that my concentration changes. So I get my final concentration of 2.524 molar, and then, remember moles per liter is molar, and then the final volume is 1 liter. So that's my M2 and so again, B2 0, and then my M2, let's go back here, 2.524. So as I said before, what we've done is we've diluted the solution, of course, by adding water to our concentrated solution. And now we're going to use that equation M1, B1 equals M2, B2 to calculate what was the actual, when I initially poured in that solution from the dropper, it wasn't exactly 0.5 liters, but how much was it actually? And so that's what we're going to calculate here. So M1, B1 is M2, B2. So my M1 was 5.00. My B1 is what I'm solving for, so any of the gray boxes, leave it as an unknown because you're solving for that. My final volume, final concentration was 2. My M2 is 2.524, and my final volume is 1 liter. Okay, so then what I have here is 5 times B1 is equal to 2.524 times 1, which is just 2.524. Okay, so to solve for my B1, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And then I get my B1 to be 0.5048 which in terms of sig figs we're using for here, so 0.5, 5. So my actual and that's pretty close. So that's my actual, right? So we're going to repeat that process for trial 2. Now in trial 2, what we're going to try and find is the final volume. So the trial 2 setup looks like this. You create your solution with the cobalt nitrate until the concentration is about 2 molar. Make sure you record exactly what it is. So in my case, I would record 2.187. That's my initial concentration. And then now, and my initial volume is 1 liter. And remember, the 1 liter is set because you can't go more than 1 liter here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to evaporate it until the solution reduces down to about half. So I just do that, and you notice the concentration is changing. Think about how it's changing as we're evaporating. So now it's about half, and 4.309 molar is my M2. And then my V2 is approximately 0.5. So once again, I'm going to calculate this value using this equation. In this case, for the second one, I'll be solving for V2. So the first trial you're solving for V1, the second trial you're solving for V2. Okay? So we're solving for V2, and we're going to see how close we are to 5. The first one I was actually pretty close. Alright, so then the last part of this, the last setup is we are creating a saturated solution. So the only thing in here right now is the cobalt solution from the dropper. I use it to solid and shake it until you make a saturated solution like we did in 4. Alright, now once it's saturated, we're going to evaporate it again and see what happens to the concentration, how it changes when you evaporate. And in this example, there's nothing to calculate here, you're just making observations. Alright, and then you're going to go on, of course, to answer questions. Okie dokie, I hope you found this video helpful. Have a quality day.